Hi folks, I'm Lily and welcome to Curatorial Knits. I am so excited to jump into my knitting podcast slash vlog where I talk about all the choices that I make with my knitting projects and designs. I am just back from the pool with my kids and I have like maybe an hour to set this up, and I just wanted to jump on and film some updates because I had a few things in process last time that I'm excited to report in on, and we also have the end of our summer Curator Sweater KAL, so I want to get everyone's comments and input there before our giveaways, or prizes rather, for that. So stay till the end for that info. Also at the end I'll be talking about my test knit announcement, so if you are interested in test knitting, then be sure to stick around. What did I want to talk about? Well, first of all, I am kind of feeling like this is the last summer weekend, like proper summer weekend. I don't know if I said that last time too, but it really feels like it today. It is September 14th. Tomorrow is September 15th. We're gonna have a couple more hot days this week, and then it starts to get cooler and cooler and cooler. And so I had a plan to film today, and then I really just felt like we had to make the most of this incredible weather. And so I threw the kids in the car and we drove to the pool where we're members, and we just had such an awesome afternoon. It was really special. And I don't know, just seeing your kids play with their friends in the sunshine on a beautiful summer day just really makes everything else kind of seem less important. And it was a really good thing for me to do. So again, I am still excited about filming, but it might be kind of short and compressed today. So maybe that's for the best anyway. So I've said so too many times already. I'm sure I'll get a few comments about that. But I will talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Nilly cardigan by Irene Lim. I love this summer cardigan. I wear it all of the time. I throw it on mostly over summer dresses, and it is perfect because it is made with floating, which is the yarn from a Verb for keeping warm, which has a silk content as well as alpaca and cashmere. It is quite luxe, but it is so nice. And so this is just as warm or cool as you want it to be. Obviously, it's an all-over lace pattern with this cable detail coming down the side. I really do love it. I have not put buttons on it yet, mostly because of the way the shoulders fit. So the shoulders fit really nicely up here, but when they do, or when they're seated or settled, I should say, when they're settled on my shoulder cap for me with the size and the design, then the opening, the V-neck opening comes all the way down here and doesn't really kind of stand up. So versus if the shoulders are kind of like, if I were to button it closed here, then the shoulders would actually have to kind of come back down quite a bit, and then there's quite a bit of extra fabric here for me. So I might put buttons on just so I could wear it like this if I wanted to, but because I prefer the shoulder fit, I just kind of let it fall open, and that's the way I've been wearing this piece. I love it. I get a lot of compliments on it whenever I wear it, and I also get a lot of those, wait, did you make that sweater? No. We know you knit, but like you didn't do that, which is always kind of fun because in fact I did. I also kept the sleeves at 3/4 length, which I think is perfect for this piece. And I really like the way that the decreases happen a little bit subtly and then more quickly at the end, but it's not like a oversized kind of balloon sleeve, which is something that we'll talk about later with one of my own designs. So that's what I'm wearing, Millie Cardigan by Irene. Go check it out. I will link all of the patterns below. Link to their Ravelry pages, and I'll also try to include the yarn where and when I can. So next up, I don't have any FOs, but I do have a fun new cast on that was something I mentioned briefly last time, but then went all in on. So I had asked for feedback on what color combination I should use, particularly with some Spincycle yarns. I was really feeling the need for Spincycle, looking towards Rhinebeck, and I was also looking at both my Colorwork yoke sweater and Andrea Mowry's new Rhinebeck design. And I did none of the things that I discussed, kind of. I cast on the dark green because I was thinking I would do that with the Spincycle for my own pattern. But the gauge wasn't right on, and I love that Todd yarn so much. I really didn't want to carry anything with it or mess around with the gauge or have it feel too loose. It's a sport to fingering weight yarn, but really feels more like a fingering weight yarn to me. So I then had this idea. In fact, do I have it here? No, it's over on the other side of the room. So then I had this idea I was going to cast on a raglan sweater because I had this idea a long time ago to make it a raglan sweater in that deep green with like flashes of purple. So I spent a long time on that collar. And I did this really cool bright purple ridge, and I was really stoked on it. It did look very, very cool, but it wasn't what I wanted to be working on. I wanted to do a Colorwork yoke sweater, and I wanted to use Spincycle. And, you know, I just threw it on for Rhinebeck. So I threw it down for Rhinebeck rather. And I did cast on the Ooey Gooey by Andrea Mowry. And I used the Sonder yarn green. And then this green is from Lavindole, which is the same yarn maker who I used for my Twigs sweater. But this is the pure and simple wool. Lavindole. I hope that's how you say it. But this is the card, and the color is Pinot, which I'm guessing is like pine in Italian. And I've had this for a long time with some contrast colors in some cool contrast colors, and I had originally wanted to do another project with it, and it just never happened. But it ended up, I think, being an even better fit for the Spincycle that I wanted to use, which is the Sonder Yarn Co. I forget what I think it must be Sunday something, but that's their custom color. So I also thought it would be fun to show you how I work with the mohairs for this, because I'm about to get to the sleeve colorwork section on one sleeve, and then I am doing the other sleeve, the plain stockinette knitting now, and then I probably won't do them exactly simultaneous, but I've created my Magic Ball kind of custom micromanaged Spincycle balls for this. And I've also assembled sorry, I'm searching for it in another bag. I've also assembled the mohair that I will use as I go along. So the more blue section at the very top that I started with for this ball of yarn And I am, I think, only using really one skein of the Spincycle, which is kind of interesting. Should I talk about this now? I think I will. Okay, so I did make some modifications here. I am now committed to splitting my Colorwork yokes much earlier and then doing increases only on the body afterwards. This will come up a lot in the discussion of the color compass because it is, I get now, I was a little puzzled why everyone didn't just do this. And it turns out because grading it is really hard. And I have just now finished grading mine last week, and it is much harder to do, like 100%. But I do think it's worth it. It's totally worth it because we don't want to be penguins, right? Like, this is no way to wear your favorite sweater. Like, to have to waddle while you're wearing your sweater is just, that's no fun for anyone. So, you know, trying to like reach and get things. So for me, I will always now split early and then do the next or last set of increases, in this case, after the split on the bust. And then that did mean figuring out my own arm circumference a little bit differently, but it's not too bad. So I made that change. I also have a little bit of a different gauge. So I made a size 2 when I really should be, for my body size, me and the ease mentioned in the pattern, I should be making a size 3. And it worked out fine. Like, I knew what I was getting into. I knew this wasn't going to be a perfect fit. I cropped it as she has it fairly cropped in the pattern, and I quite like it. I think it's going to block out nicely, and I did do 2 rounds of decreases right on my natural waistline right here, which I find always helps with these shorter cropped sweaters as well. So those were my modifications. And now let me kind of show you what I do to prep my Spincycle. I did not create individual balls for the yoke because I could see it was a very slow gradation. I did, though, want to be sure that these circles down below were going to mirror the green color above. So I did speed up a little bit in the yellow. So you can see here, I mean, this is also more stitches, right? Because there's been more increases, but you can see that there's more of a yellow in the first transition, a little bit less here because I wanted to make sure that I got all of the green in that section to mirror what's on top. And so then I started thinking about how I want the sleeves to be. So in the pattern, let me get I can probably just show you a picture on my phone, even though that's not super helpful. Sorry, one moment, please, caller. You can see, oh, here's a good picture of where you can really see the sleeves. No, maybe not. There, I'll try to hold that. So you can really see there's quite a bit of color work on the sleeve section, and then it ends in the ribbing being that Spincycle dyed in the wool as well. So you're not going to go back to your main color for that cuff section. So I wanted to do a little bit of a think about what I wanted that cuff color to be and how I wanted it to begin. So I made 2 individual balls that are not exactly the same, but are very, very close to being the same. And the way that I do this is I undo a skein of the Spincycle and get to what looks like a point in the transition, right? Like, okay, we're moving from, in this case, a blue-green into a yellow. And so as soon as we get to something that's looking a little bit more solidly yellow than it is blue-green, then I break the yarn and then I take the section that started off much more green than yellow and I just put it in half and then break that, and those are how we're starting, right? So now I have 2 balls of yarn. And I started this transition with that green. It then goes to yellow and ends in pink. So it's basically a mirror of this section. So we're gonna start with green in the dot part of the cuffs, and then we're gonna go into the kind of droplets being that pink color and the cuff, or the yellow color rather, and then the cuff itself will be pink. So the pink is what's at the inside of these balls. So another thing to note here, and this is what we're going to talk about next, is that I also use mohair held with the yarn in order to create, I think, a even more subtle or slow shift between the colors. And I started doing that with, I wanted to kind of walk you guys through this thought process and how it's really helped me, and I think it's made some really, frankly, like really cool projects that I think are really fun. And it's just another tool in my kind of toolbox when it comes to doing color work. The first time that I used mohair with Spincycle was here in my Easy V sweater, which I love and wear constantly. I love this so much. And I just used it with the Spincycle. So I used Spincycle and then a solid colored yarn, or not, I guess it's slightly variegated, it's a hand dyed, but it's one color, tonal if you will. So I use Spincycle, a tonal, Spincycle, a tonal, and then the rest is Spincycle. And in order to draw out the transitions between the yarns as much as I could, I transitioned between mohair scraps. So I used in the light pink area at the very top here, I used a light pink mohair, and then I actually changed to a purple mohair, which I held alongside as it changed more purple into the kind of dark, I guess this is more like a dark periwinkle. It's really a blue with a purple tone shift to it. And then I did the same thing in the next Spincycle section here, where I started holding that darker blue, and then I switched to a gray mohair, and then I ended with a pink mohair again to transition into the pink tonal color here. And then I stayed pink and gray, and then ended up going pink and gray again with the last group of the Spincycle. And this was not dyed in the wool. This is Spincycle's more hefty cousin. And I think that it has more variation, I have found, within that barber pulling. So that was really fun, and that was the first time that I did it. The next time I did it was with this sweater by Caitlin Hunter, which Alpenbloom, thank you, sorry. I knew it would come to me. And this was super, super fun. And again, it was a great way to use mohair in order to create more intentional, I guess, shifts of my color. I did also micromanage my color shifts here. I knew I wanted to start light, go dark, go back to red, go bright light in the middle of the motif, the flower motif, and then move back out to the darker colors, and then the dark green blue for the leaves at the bottom. And this was also the first time I did my split before the Colorwork's over, and how I kind of fell in love with that process. So, and here I did the same thing, where I used the mohair shifts to both kind of exaggerate and almost like enunciate where I was shifting, where the yarn from the Spincycle crew was shifting. So I used the lightest color of my pink mohairs here, and then a dark one kind of right away. And then that really showed off, I think, the transition in the Spincycle even more. And yeah, I even did it in the middle here. The middle round is actually green, and I used a green mohair, which again, I think creates that really heightened contrast and really makes it pop. So I knew that this was like an effective technique and I wanted to do it before I cast on the Ooey Gooey, and I definitely think it's made a really nice transition. Sorry, that was the back with my short rows in it. I think that it's helped the transitions here feel even more slow and even more intentional. So what mohairs do I have? In the next round, I will be starting with this green, and most of the stuff is scraps from other projects. So I just have like a big basket full of all the leftover mohairs. And also I am very tempted by hand-dyed mohairs. So this was a hand-dyed mohair from, no, it's not. This is a random Malabrigo, that's right. This is a Malabrigo that I got because I just fell in love with this little 50-gram skein of it, and I just felt like I had to have it. And so I'm glad I did, because I paired this with the first round of green, and then it lightens up to this next green, which I think is, this is leftover Celadon from my, what's it called? The Jessie May design tank top that I tried to make a mohair vest and didn't go off as well as I'd like. But anyway, this is Celadon from Wandering Flock. It's an amazing color. I'm obsessed with it. And then I go into this super zippy green. This is from Ritual Dyes, and it was the mohair for one of the hats, one of the many hats that I made. And then this is so cool. This is mohair again from Wandering Flock. And what I will do to make this transition, because it does look really like jarring, these two together, what I will do is I will hold them both together for a little while. And also you can see that the core of this mohair has a lot of white still left in it where the silk hasn't been dyed all the way. So you're really more getting the halo effect from this. But I will hold these two together for probably one row, and that's gonna really help that transition as well. And you're not gonna really be able to tell the texture shift with holding two together, mostly because they're so light. It's really not gonna make a difference. And then from that yellow, again, this is gonna look sharp, but it's not. This is another Wandering Flock that is called Rose Gold, and it is rose, and then it has flecks of this yellow in it. Again, this is all yarn that I got for another project when I made my friend Yam a striped lento sweater, and I will put a picture of that right here. It's a great sweater. I really love it. And she wears it all the time. So that was really, that was really fun. But these are again leftovers. So this has actually flashes of the yellow inside it. And you can see how, again, I used this before in that pink to yellow transition here. So that's what we'll use on the cuff as well. And then we'll end in the middle, sorry, at the end, the middle of this little ball of yarn is all the way pink. And so for the all the way pink, we will use this yarn, which is La Bien Aimée, I believe. Yeah, La Bien Aimée mohair from another project. So that's how we'll close things out. And so it's kind of wild. I really love the fact that you're really going from here to here, but it feels seamless. And yeah, that's how I use mohair to pair with my Spincycle yarn. And this is the third project I've done it on, and I really do love it. I think it's super effective and it makes for a really neat design. And this is my Ooey Gooey. So I'm really delighted by it. It was also really fun just to sit and knit and just kind of go along with the flow, which I'll be talking about in my next project, because I am really excited now that my color compass pattern is done and with the tech editor, and I'm really happy with where I've landed on it. I think I'm really, really excited to just sit down and knit another one and just be following instructions, because As I mentioned in my last podcast, I recently got a new position and I've started the new job now, and it is a lot. It is awesome, but it is also, it's like drinking from a fire hydrant. It truly is a little intense. And so I just have to kind of recognize the stage of life that I'm in and the moment that I'm in, and acknowledge that sometimes it's really nice to just have my knitting be prescribed for me. And that's where I am with that. And this was also just really fun to use stash in this way and feel like I was using yarn that I always wanted to use and I was really excited about when I got it. And now I get even more excited about it because it's, you know, going to such a great spot. So yes, ooey gooey, feeling good. Next up, I'm going to talk about what's been going down with the color compass, which I have actually worn quite a bit already. It's so lightweight. It's so easy to wear. I am really obsessed with it. I really, really love it. It actually kind of looks good. This is a dress that I'm wearing on top. I'm just looking down. I realized I could totally wear this over this navy gingham dress, and that would be super cute. So where are we? I think when we last spoke, I said I was done with the pattern, and I guess I was, but I needed to do a lot more work on the grading and the numbers because, as I mentioned, there is a reason why folks stopped doing increases particularly in Colorwork after the sleeve split, and it's because it's just much more challenging to grade across sizes. So for this pattern, there are 3 charts. Depending on the size that you're knitting, you'll be working from a different chart, but all 3 of the charts include Colorwork after the sleeve split. And some charts you will be increasing only on the body during that time. You will not be increasing on the sleeves during that time. So no matter which garment you are making, that will be the case. I've also put in instructions to help folks that might not be hitting row gauge. So because the yoke depth is such an important measurement for this piece, because we are stopping knitting a little bit. Again, like, it's not early. If you were looking at a normal sweater or a sweater that was really made for your body, this is not an early place to stop. It is just not down, far below. But because we're doing that, where your yoke depth lands your row gauge is really important. So I have also included instructions for what to do if your row gauge is off, and in both directions. If you have too many rows or if you have too few rows, either way, there is guidance in the pattern for how to navigate that. And what else? The ease. I've also tried to make sure that the ease is consistent over the pattern, but there will be less ease in your shoulder than in your bust. And you should definitely check out the measurements for all of those. And that is, again, because we're able to end the sweater a little bit higher, you want to have that range of movement and motion. And so that number will be important to check out, I think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Honestly, it's just a really fun too. I feel like that's like making it sound like there's a lot more homework to do. Honestly, just pick your size and knit it. There's a lot of flexible ease in this as well. My version is made with 4 inches of ease, but I think my next version, I'm going to go a size up and will be made with much more ease. Either way, And you could also make this with less ease. If you knit a size below, you would get like a really cute kind of 50s style cropped, you know, you could wear this with negative ease, and I actually think it would look really, really hot. I think it would look really, really good. So I don't want to overthink it. Frankly, where I did so much work in terms of fit on the color cardigan, like it's just really hard to turn off, or not the color card, the Curator sweater. It's really just, it's hard to turn off that part of my brain, and I'm glad that it's turned on and it's tuned in, and I really am glad that I fine-tuned the numbers for this and that every size is going to be able to hopefully achieve something that they really, really love. That said, it is also just a circular yoke sweater, and it's not that deep. It's just a really fun way to play with color. Super exciting news. The test knit link for the sweater is also now live. So that is in the description box below. I am super, super excited to run another test knit. I think this will be a really, really fun one for the fall. And once again, I will be making my own alongside all of my testers. And I'm really, really excited to show you guys what I've cooked up for that version. The gauge is 22 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters by 24 rows. So 22 by 24. And again, it's a really, really, I think, fun, addictive, whiz your way through the yoke and then just knit in the round sweater. So I really hope people love it. The increases are also something that I I basically made a sheet that's how my brain works, so I hope that works for some other people's brains as well. In addition to the charts indicating where you're increasing and what your current stitch count should be after your increase, I also just made a little cheat sheet. It's a 1-page in the pattern where it says each number of increase, and then again for all the sizes where you should be, and then it stops because some sizes will stop increasing at a certain point and other sizes will keep going after the sleeve split. So anyway, it's how my brain works. I hope it's helpful for you guys too. I'm really looking forward to feedback on the pattern design, kind of what it looks like, because I'm also fine-tuning that part of my process as well. So really, really excited for this test knit. I think it's going to be such a fun one and a perfect thing for fall. If you're interested in making the color compass a bit early, then just sign up in the link below, and I'm really excited to have you join us. Let's talk about my version that I'll be making for the test because I'm so excited. I had mentioned that I was thinking of casting it on with a navy and a Spincycle, and I am not going to do that because I also said last time, and what I was very much committed to, is I really want a brown and teal version of this, and I'm still working out exactly the colors that I will use, but I have them all and I'm really excited to share them with you. So I will not be doing a Spincycle version of the color compass right now. Instead, I will be doing this brown and teal version, which I'm super, super, super stoked on. And I am using, so the first one I knit in Nutiden, and the next one I am making, I'm going back to the Sunday Morning Luxe Sport because I just love that it combines this incredible hand feel and drape with the toothiness that just like Colorwork loves. And also I think that the gauge will work truly perfectly. So this is a sport weight yarn. They say their gauge is 24 stitches per inch. I will be knitting this on a slightly larger needle, and I will also, because it's a Colorwork, it will be a little bit tighter, and it's gonna look so good. I'm so excited. This is my brown. It's a new brown from Sonder. It's called Bear Hug. It's a very cool red brown, and that is my jam. So I'm very excited about that. This is my main color. Yum. And then with this, the teals that I'm using, the first is Dream State, which is like a classic from Sonder that they've been making for a very long time and I have never knit with, and I have always been lusting for, yearning for, I think is a good example. So this will be my darkest main color, but there's still such great contrast. Oh, I think the light right now is kind of weird, but this is a great representation right here. I'm gonna have to lean over. Then the next is a super poppy turquoise called Breathe Easy. And will I be able to hold all these? I think so. Ba-ba-da-ba. You know what, we'll just do one of the main color so you can see all of these. And then I have two options here. So, well, I guess kind of three options. These three for sure, okay? And then the other options I have are Stormy Weather, which is a very bluey, greeny gray, which I think looks great. And I also have one skein left over of Personal Space. So what I could do, and I think there's enough contrast between the turquoise and Personal Space, is make it be basically three different or four different tones of a similar color. So this is one option. So we have the pale, the pop, and then the super dark and the neutral in between. So this is one round. But I also got a really awesome pink that I could swap out. And so this pink is called Simple Pleasures. And now that's really nice too. It's not all in the same color family, which is something that I think could be really exciting about doing all of the teals, but it's, I mean, these just play so well together. So that's the big decision I have on my plate now. I think there are no wrong answers, but I would love to know what you think. I don't know. I'm really excited about the concept of these, and I know it's kind of funky to hold this really messy cake of yarn, but the concept of this is very cool. And I think it would be another great way to experiment with the pattern and to flex it out and show what it could do. But this and this go so well together too. I think that I'm really excited about that combination. So yeah, that's my big decision. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip of Spindrift. This is my drink of the summer. It's the Spindrift half tea and half lemonade, and it is delightful. Truly, what a gift. What a tremendous gift. I'm so glad I discovered it. Thank you, Mom. Really, really delicious. Okay. All right. Finally, we have the Curator Sweater KAL conclusion. It's been such a fun summer. I've been having so much fun in the text chat on Instagram. I love that method. It's been a total ball seeing what everyone's coming up with. So many great teas, so many incredible, what are they called? Yarn combinations and fiber combinations. And now, unfortunately, I feel like I have to knit 5 more of these things. I did post a kind of silly video of me in my latest version. I cannot wait for it to cool down so I can wear it. It feels so good on my body. It truly sings. It's just been a total joy of the summer, and I definitely want to do another KAL next summer. I think it's just the best time to do it too, because it kind of feels like the off season of knitting, but it's great to do something with others during that time, and it's been such a delight. So I have 3 beautiful, beautiful prizes, which were gifted to me by the team at Bed of Roses. My favorite, and I think only gifted content that I've shared, because this is very much things that I bought and liked, and I always buy from Bed of Roses because it's such a special experience. So I have 3 fantastic fall items that I will share with you now, and I will be picking 3 winners. 1 from our YouTube channel comments, so get ready to comment below, and 1 from the Instagram crew who have been chatting and posting their FOs, and 1 from the hashtags. So the people who are in the Instagram group, some of them are also posting hashtags on Instagram, and so they are eligible basically like in 2 places. So if you haven't posted yet, please do, so I can kind of get you in the mix as well, and those selections will be random. So I will announce it on the next podcast, and I guess it's technically a giveaway, but it's kind of more like a prize because I am just so excited by what people have made. In order to enter, I guess, for the YouTube selection, please comment below with what kind of yarn you used or are using, because it doesn't have to be an FO, and if you are making a short sleeve or long sleeve Curator sweater, and that will be your entrance. I'm so excited. I am just so inspired by you guys. So keep posting and tagging me if you can, and I just love seeing your projects on Ravelry too, if you can enter those in. And now let's look at really amazing, beautiful things. So the first thing is what I think there's 2 things I think Bed of Roses are most known for, and their project bags are truly works of art. I absolutely love them, and this beautiful piece is the autumn special autumn version, and I love it. It's a drawstring project bag. This would be lovely for a small to medium sized project, though as you all know, my version of this has been home to 2 different sweaters. So if you like to really pack it in and have a condensed project bag like me, go for it. Especially for my train knitting, I really only take 1 ball of yarn that I'm working with and then the project itself. So it works for me. In any case, I absolutely love this piece, and I am super excited to see it go to a beautiful home. So this is the first. Okay, the second I almost got. The second is a beautiful project, all ready to go. Autumn mittens. These are just the sweetest thing, and I will not show the other side because it has charts, but it includes the written out pattern for the from Malva, and they are Colorwork mittens, and they're so perfect, and 3 balls of Rama stricken yarn, which is beautiful, so autumnal, so perfect. And last but not least, I won't open this because I want it to be special for the person who receives it, but there are some really beautiful charms. So Bed of Roses charms are absolutely, truly magical. I will share with you mine, if I may, because they really transform your knitting experience, and I love having them and using them. And this is a really special one. So you can see how beautiful they are. And I just adore them. This has a little L and some lucky charms and a beautiful pearl all on this feather charm itself. So anyway, it's just I love having knitting jewelry, and it's a really special thing to be able to share all of this with you guys. So I'm super, super excited to do that. Again, you can enter by using the hashtag Curator Sweater or Curator Sweater KAL, or I'm also searching Curator KAL, and be sure to tag me too, because it just makes it a little bit easier. You can share those on Instagram. You can also post below in the comments whether you knit a long sleeve or a short sleeve Curator sweater and what yarn you used. And I can't wait to announce the winners next time, to hopefully be done with my Ooey Gooey next time. I'm loving seeing the other Ooey Gooeys pop up all over Instagram. That's been super fun. And I will hopefully also have cast on my compass number 2. I have put aside the Curator Cardigan. It is an awesome project that I don't have the bandwidth for right now because it will be lots and lots of math. And I am not really doing that right now. I mean, I am, because I just finished all of the grading for the color compass, but I'm really focused on making things I love, continuing this practice as an exploration of creativity, and also knowing that I am a multifaceted human being with a full life and a super active family and a lot of exciting things happening in the world. I mentioned before, I am going back to Rhinebeck. I'm super, super excited. We will not be staying in a last minute tiny hut, but a beautiful property with like a lake. I don't know how I snagged this thing back in May, but I'm so glad I did. I'm really, really looking forward to autumn in New York. I mean, there's a song about it. It's so special. And I can't wait to see you folks there as well. As we get closer, I'm sure I'll film at least one more time before Rhinebeck, which is in just 4 weeks. So I don't know if I'll be able to finish the other color compass before then. I don't really feel like I need to, but if I do, that would be fun. So we'll just see how it goes. But thanks for hanging out with me. Last days of summer, feeling it. I love summer so much, but I'm also really, really excited for the activity and new season and new art to see, new shows to see, new things happening in the world. And I'm so glad I get to share this side of it with all of you. So thanks for being here. Thanks for putting yourself and your makes out into the world. It is a better place when we do it. And I can't wait to keep sharing our creativity together. Thank you so much, and happy knitting. See you next time. Bye.